If you are looking for a Sprinter van business loan, but your FICO score is around, let's say, 500 to 550, you could still qualify because there are banks today that will approve you, not a problem. So in today's conversation, let me just walk you through those banks, okay? This is important. Now, here's the review I really want you to pay attention to. So the top 5 Sprinter van business loan that come from banks that accept 550 or 500 as minimum for a FICO score. Number 5, we have Santander. Our score, 9 over 10. So when you think about Santander, I want you to think about a bank that is, they're not present nationally. They don't cover the whole 50 states here, okay? They are more on the East Coast, so if you happen to be in that geography, you're good to go. So basically, Santander will take care of you. They do everything. They do Sprinter van, they do cargo van, they do also heavy equipment financing, okay? And you can actually finance a vehicle or a fleet. So this is kind of cool. We love the fact that Santander is really, really flexible. The cool thing here is that Santander is not asking you to have a relationship with them, because a lot of banks, they want you to have a relationship with them before they actually approve you for Sprinter van business loans. But Santander doesn't have that requirement. They know, because they know that they don't cover the whole country, so they're comfortable as long as you actually fall into, like, as long as your Sprinter van business falls into their geography, they will actually approve you, not a problem. Okay. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. We love having this kind of conversations every now and then. So number 5, as I'm just telling you here, we have Santander. One thing we love about Santander is the flexibility. Santander will work with you no matter what. They will actually, they could even pre-approve you for your Sprinter van. Let's say you want to buy a Sprinter van, and they could pre-approve you, so you can take the pre-approval letter to the dealership. In addition to that, Santander is really flexible in terms of what else you can do with a Sprinter van business loan. So you don't have to get a loan from Santander to buy a vehicle, to buy a Sprinter van. You can actually use the cash for other stuff. Because if you have a Sprinter van business, you have a courier business, and you're trying to get a loan for that courier business, you can get a loan from Santander with not a problem, okay? And again, as I said, they can actually approve you all the way to $10 million. So loan amounts go from 25 grand to $10 million, and you have financing terms from 24 months to 120 months. So this is really good. Number 4, we have Wells Fargo. Our score here is 9.1 over 10. One thing we love about Wells Fargo here is that Wells Fargo is a national bank, so they don't have the problem that Santander has, okay? They're a national bank, so they'll work with you, not a problem. And the only thing we don't like with Wells Fargo is that there's no loan pre-qualification available, and there is no direct application. And Wells Fargo tends to want you to be a client of theirs. In other words, they want you to have an existing relationship with them before they will actually consider your application. They don't say this like publicly, but in our experience for the last 10 to 20 years, what we have seen here is that if you're applying for a Sprinter van, if you're applying for a Sprinter van business loan, if you're applying for a cargo van business loan, and you're not a client of Wells Fargo's, they really tend to be a little like, they might approve you if you have a high FICO score. By the way, boss, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. The topic we are discussing, I'm just walking you through the top 5 Sprinter van business loans from banks that are accepting 5 to 550 minimum FICO score. Okay. Now, if you want to qualify for a Sprinter van business loan at Wells Fargo, just make sure that you are a client of theirs, that you actually apply at a branch. Go to a branch and just apply there. Alternatively, you can actually do things over the phone. Just contact them at 1-800-289-8004, Monday through Thursday, by the way, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., and Saturday, 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And we're talking about Central Time, okay? Again, the number here is 1-800-294-284. What am I talking about? 1-800-289-8004. 1-800-289-8004. One thing we love about the Wells Fargo here is that they actually cover a whole, beyond Sprinter van business loans, they do everything else. They actually cover everything about semi-trucks. They do cargo vans. They do specialty vehicles. They do buses and motor coaches. They do dealer finance. They do a lot of things. Okay. And in terms of financing, you have a 12 to 84 months, and they could finance you up to $1 million. Number 3 here, we have Bank of America. Our score, 9.4 over 10. So when you think about Bank of America, you think about another biggie, okay? Bank of America is really good. They will work with you. Their loan amounts are a little lower though. Like they will approve you from $10,000 to $250,000. Repayment terms, you have a 48 months to 72 months. So there's 4 years to 6 years, okay? And the cool thing about Bank of America here is that they actually have an entire department that actually processes Sprinter van business loans. This is what we love a lot, because then if you are looking for a Sprinter van business loan, whether you want to buy the vehicle or you want to finance your existing operation, you can just contact that specific department, okay? And the cool thing is they also have a pre-qualification process whereby they give you a pre-qual letter. So with the Business Advantage auto loan, you have a 30-day rate lock guarantee that gives you plenty of time to find the right vehicle. Okay. In terms of requirements, they have a minimum vehicle value of $10,000, a maximum vehicle age of 5 years, less than 75,000 miles. So if you're looking to buy a used Sprinter van, make sure that it has on the odometer, it has less than 75,000 miles. Okay. And but again, you can use the cash for other stuff. You don't have to use the cash to purchase a new or used Sprinter van. You can use the cash to take care of your Sprinter van business in general. Let's say you have a delivery business and you happen to happen to own or lease a Sprinter van, then you can use the cash for a lot of other stuff. The good thing is you can contact Bank of America to have more information. They're available 24/7 and on the phone. This is kind of cool. And one thing I want to say here is that it's really important to understand that Bank of America, they do like if you get a Sprinter van business loan from them, make sure that you have auto pay, because you got a discount. Okay, if you get a discount like a 0.5% or 0.25%, everything counts anyway. Number 2, we have here Ally or Ally. Our score, 9.5 over 10. So when you think about Ally Bank or Ally Bank, you are speaking about a bank that specializes in a lot of things. They will take care of your Sprinter van business loan application, not a problem. So they have financing for businesses, also finances for individuals. But if you have a Sprinter van business, Ally Bank will work with you. So you can call 1-888-925-2559, 1-888-925-2559. Okay. And what we love about Ally Bank is that you can either buy, you can lease, you can do a lot of things. They have something called a ComTrack. They have a smart lease. They have a lot of programs. So Ally Bank allows you to buy vehicles, to lease vehicles. And the cool thing is you can also get the cash to finance your Sprinter van business. I'm talking about your operations, okay? And so beyond Sprinter vans, you can get a loan from Ally Bank to finance your semi, your cargo van, your box truck, your 18-wheeler. So they do have this constellation of business loans, okay? By the way, I want to quickly remind you of today's conversation. The topic I'm talking to you about is what? The top 5 Sprinter van business loans from banks that are accepted minimum 550 when it comes to your FICO score. 500 to 550, they'll take care of you. The cool thing we love about Ally Bank here is that they actually will work with you, and what they do is they actually will give you financing in your business name. So basically, you have no personal guarantee here. This is really good, so you can preserve your personal assets in case something goes wrong. Okay, and you are able to actually also get a pre-qual letter from Ally Bank and go find a local dealer to see how you can actually get your Sprinter van real quick. And what we love about Ally Bank is that there is no down payment required. Okay, they will finance you real fast as long as you have all the paperwork. They'll take care of you. And we have seen Ally Bank actually closing a transaction within 2 days, which is really huge, which is really fast for a large bank such as Ally Bank. Okay, so 48 hours, this is just crazy. It usually doesn't happen. You have those fast processing times with alternative lenders such as Balboa Capital, for example. Number one, the best of the best in our view, when it comes to the top five Sprinter Van business loans from banks that are accepting 5 to 550 as FICO. Number one, PNC. I'm a scorer, 9.8 over 10. And PNC is kind of fantastic. It's really fantastic. The cool thing about PNC here is that, hey, listen, they'll take care of your, they'll process your Sprinter Van business loan application real fast, okay? And but the thing is that when we talk about PNC and Sprinter Van business loans, there are two things that you have to think about. In our view, there are two detriments here. Number one, PNC wants you to have a relationship with them. They want you to have a business bank account with them. So you got to maintain a relationship with PNC to qualify for their Sprinter Van business loan, okay? And which is part of the larger umbrella of equipment financing at Sprinter Van at the PNC. So that's the first detriment. The second detriment is that PNC is not a national player. They're a regional player. So they don't have a 50 state coverage. So if you happen to be in a state where they have no coverage and you want to apply for a loan at the PNC, you may not qualify. Okay, unless you have an online account, you have an online business, like you're doing your delivery business online in some way, shape, or form, then you might qualify. Okay, but when we talk about, let's look at the particulars of the loan itself. So basically, you have loan amounts that go from $10,000 to $250,000. This is really good. Okay, loan terms up to 72 months. In terms of payments, you can actually set up an auto pay with a PNC, whereby you actually have a discount on your monthly payments, on your APR also, okay? And you can contact PNC to actually kick off your Sprinter Van business loan application. With you can call them over the phone at 1-800-762-5684. You can call them Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. They don't work over the weekend in the business department, okay? And you just need to make sure that you provide all the paperwork, everything from your EIN, okay, the type of Sprinter Van business you have, the legal structure, LLC, S corporation, C corporation. You got to provide your financials, okay, among other things, and you are good to go. Now, if you have made it so far, boss, I really want to reward you for your loyalty here, okay? And I have a bonus for you. There are two other institutions that provide great Sprinter Van business loans, okay? And they actually will look at your application. Even if you have a FICO score that's around 500 or 550. So we have in the bonus category, we have first Navy Fed. Our score, 8.8 over 10. Now, the thing with Navy Fed here is that it is a credit union, which means what? Which means that you're going to have to actually be a member first. And the Navy Fed is actually open to all Americans, okay? I would say 98% of Americans, but if you happen to be part of those 2% of Americans who don't qualify for Navy Fed membership, then you can't really get a loan with, you cannot get a Sprinter Van business loan from Navy Fed, okay? But if you do qualify, the good thing here is that you actually have you can actually you can walk to a dealership and actually land a pre-qual letter from Navy Fed that actually guarantees that you will be approved. You will get the Sprinter Van you want, whether used or new, okay? And so the loan is available for the pre-qual letter. The pre-qual letter is available for purchases and refinancing, okay? There is no prepayment penalty. And with the Navy Fed, they are looking at a loan to value, which must be up to 75%, depending on the type of Sprinter Van that you have. And there is an origination fee of $150, okay? And they will do a lane search, and recording fees may apply and vary by state, okay? So basically, when we talk about your Sprinter Van business, the loan that you get from Navy Fed you could use it for a lot of stuff. You could use it to buy or refinance used or new Sprinter Van. You can use it for other operational equipment, things like computer equipment for your Sprinter van business, because again, it is a business. We're not just talking about using the loan for the vehicle. You can use the loan for something else. You can use the loan for leasehold improvements. You can use the loan for expansion. Let's say you are currently covering a certain geography in your Sprinter van business or delivery business, and you happen to realize that you can make a lot more by actually doing OTR. So you can actually use this opportunity to make more money. So this is great. You can use whatever money you get from Navy Fed to actually expand your operations. Now, I want to give you another, I want to share with you another institution that's really great. That's BECU. Our score, 8.4 over 10. BECU gives you great Sprinter van business loans at wonderful terms and conditions, okay? You are looking at, for example, they have 6.24%. That's the minimum APR for new Sprinter van. And for old ones, you are talking about 6.99%. And you have so they have a loan to value up to 80%, no origination fee. You have terms up to 72 months. This is really good. So for your Sprinter van, you can actually wait all the way to 72 months. This is just fantastic, I say. And what we love about, like overall, when we think about BECU, what we really love is the fact that they are there for you. This institution is just fantastic. They are pretty close to their customers. They do everything to make sure that you are getting you get the best rate, that you really are satisfied with the whole thing. The only problem with BECU is that it is geo restricted. So if you are not in Seattle or in the neighboring states, whatever, or you don't have any affiliation with Boeing, it might be complicated for you to actually qualify for membership in the first place. I'm not even talking about getting the Sprinter van business loan, because you got to qualify first for a business membership before actually getting a business loan from BECU. Okay, so if you have more questions, let's say you're just wondering whether or not you qualify at all, right? I just want you to right now, I want you to call 1-800-704-8080. So they are available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. through 7 p.m. Pacific. Saturday, 9 a.m. through 1 p.m. Pacific, okay? Or you can just make an appointment. You can set up an appointment with a business consultant on a day and time that works for you, okay? And just discuss your Sprinter van business loan with them, not a problem. If you have a FICO score of around 5 or 550, they will accept you, not a problem. And just make sure that you have all your paperwork when you start the conversation. When you go to that meeting, make sure you have all the paperwork related to your business, like you bring your financials if possible, or even if you can have your business licenses and permits. Before I close to this conversation, let me quickly give you an overview about Sprinter van business loans from banks accepting 500 to 550 FICO score in general. Let's really dig deep here. It's really important to understand that the bank is looking at your Sprinter van business loan application as I would say a holistic piece of paperwork. In other words, the bank is not thinking to finance just a vehicle. They are looking at your application as a business loan application coming from an institute, from a company. So you can use the cash for other stuff. You can use the cash to purchase inventory from Granger, Uline, Quill, or whatever. You can use the cash to do other stuff. Okay, you don't have to use the cash in relationship with the with a vehicle, but you have to disclose this though during the application process. You have to disclose that. Okay, and if you want to get a great Sprinter van business loan, make sure that you set a budget. You got to review your credit. Even though the bank is accepting 550 or 500 as a minimum, make sure that you're not really too low though. I mean, okay. And you want to choose your vehicle. You want to make sure that you have the right Sprinter van that you want, whether used or new, okay? And get pre-approved. Really, this is really important. You want to get pre-approved because, the thing is, you want to send that letter. That letter, if you want to negotiate with the dealer, having a letter, a pre-approval letter, a pre-qual letter is a great thing. And you want to provide documentation, okay? Make sure you provide the documentation that is needed to make sure that the whole process is accelerated. You get your cash real fast, okay? And in terms of what kind of paperwork you need to provide. I've said this before. You need the basic information, like your basic business information, like the P&L, your balance sheet, your financials. Okay, if you have a business plan, that's even better. But if you don't have it, that's okay. It's optional. It really helps, but not. I mean, I really understand that not every Sprinter van business owner, any owner operator listening to us right now, does have a business plan. If you don't have it, that's fine. The bank understands that. But if you do have it, it's a big plus. It's a big plus. Okay, and you also want to make sure that you always keep your options open. Let's say you apply at a bank and they just did not approve you. Just make sure that you have just keep in mind that you have other options. You have alternative lenders, such as Balboa Capital, for example, okay, or Merchants Fleets, for example, okay, or you have other players. You have Trimark. Is it Trimark? The name will come back to me. But the thing I'm trying to say here is that you have options, okay. So always keep your options open. This is very important. And you have alternatives to Sprinter van business loans. You can take personal loans. You can take a regular term loan, for example. Before I close to this conversation, I want to acquaint you with our Sprinter van business loan application process, and basically how we evaluate, not application process, but evaluation process, how we categorize, how we review Sprinter van business loans. Check this out. All right, let's quickly actually review to this conversation. Let's recap here. Number one, we have PNC, 9.8 over 10. Number two, we have Ally Bank, okay, and the score is 9.5 over 10. Number three, we have here Bank of America, 9.4 over 10. Number four, we have here Wells Fargo, our score 9.1 over 10. And number five, last but not the least, we have here Santander, our score 9 over 10. And in the bonus category, we have two other lenders that we wanted to share with you. We have a Navy Fed, our score 8.8 over 10, and BECU, our score 8.4 over 10. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.